Greetings and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, where the Mexican Socialist Republic is continuing to spread its glorious communist rebellion across the Americas, conquering all and sundry before them. And of course now, we also have sea travel as the magnificent 1922 off the back of a lorry. We picked it up off of some guy called Frank down the shops who said it was totally an awesome battleship. 1922 level destroyer technology. It is the canoe class, of course. We're not going to be relying on these for too long, but we're going to build a couple of them just to act as system patrol vessels, or rather coastal patrol vessels. I mean, we're not in space. As much as, Space Mexicans sounds like an awesome idea. But yeah, our 1922 level technology, we're actually working on and have, well, not quite nearly completed, but we are 74.9% finished at developing a slightly more updated, modernized, fully 1936 equipped destroyer, which of course we will have to name something possibly better than canoe class when we have completed it. We're also working on a few other things at the moment. We are preparing to invade Panama, for which our handsomest and bravest commander, of course, Guiardo Magna, with his cocksure attitude and easy charm, is preparing the naval assault plans literally as we speak. We are 14 days into the 70 days of preparation. We can actually just set the clock running again and leave him to continue planning that naval invasion. Now that the canoe class destroyer is out there under the Mexican Socialist Fleet, under the command of Paul Suarez, the canoe guy, who he does actually look a bit like the kind of guy who might row a canoe all the way around Mexico, doesn't he? I mean, that's where we found him. That's what he was doing. He was literally the only guy in all of the Mexican Socialist Republic who had any knowledge or experience about going on the water at all. So he's now the commander of our mighty fleet. Which is good. Dino Enka, of course, is the commander of the entire country, even though he is a clone sent down by aliens to rule all of the Americas. He, however, doesn't want to leave it up to his clonish allies and or associates. Instead, he is going to be the one to lead the attack himself by conquering all of the Americas under the guise of Mexican communism. It's complicated, I appreciate that, but it is simply the way of things, and the sooner we accept that, the better off I think we'll all be. So yeah, we just have to wait for this to be completed. It's going to take us a little while. In the meantime, what's going on? Well, we're at war with Panama, and we have air wings with no missions, but air wings with no missions doesn't really matter because I don't think Panama has any kind of army. I mean, we're getting sporadic intelligence reports as the canoe-class destroyer passes by various territories around here. Of particular interest is Cuba because, as was rightfully pointed out by the intergalactic communique from a fella called Patrick, Cuba could be quite important to us. Now, we already knew this, of course. We are already justifying war against Cuba. But having this, being able to control this, will give us a nice bit of a buffer and also control of the seaways around here for what is increasingly looking like the inevitable confrontation with the USA. I mean, they really are massing on the border here. In fact, we should probably think about upping our production of infantry once again to deal with them. And maybe even developing something other than infantry to fight with. We've only got 55 army experience. When this goes up a little bit higher, once we've conquered Panama and possibly Cuba, we will really have to look at maybe creating some new divisions with some new and awesome technology, which we will of course have to research first. But we'll get to that. It'll be fine. I mean, it'll take a little while, but it will be fine. Let's see how this battle plan is continuing. We can actually just tell him to execute it, and he'll just sail as soon as the invasion preparation has been completed and he's ready to go. Yeah, we'll just leave him to do that. I think we can all agree that this guy here can be trusted with basically all of our battle planning requirements, at least as far as conquering the Central American countries are concerned, because they're all small with virtually no military. Cuba, I think, is going to be another beast. A, it's going to be a naval invasion, and B, I think they're going to have substantially more military than we have faced yet. So we're going to have to plan this a little bit better, a little bit more carefully. Unfortunately, we can't take this because this is the United Kingdom who we do not want to declare war on just yet. Not with our 1922 class destroyer floating around the place. I don't think that's going to be sufficient deterrent to the Royal Navy. Research finished. Destroyer level 2. Excellent. All right, let's get our research cracking on with something else. I think we've probably gotten to the point now where, because we're going to be cranking out these like destroyers and possibly submarines once we get up to class 2 submarines, we probably might as well just leave one researcher in here, because we don't have the naval capacity to really produce ships fast enough to want to be producing more than one thing at a time anyway. So let's switch over. Where's our research? We're nearly finished on equipment doctrine. On equipment effort, sorry, and our doctrine effort has been completed. So it's either going to be infantry equipment or a doctrine, I think. Support battalions. We should probably think about maybe getting support equipment made. Radios, jeeps, pontoons, and other equipment used to support troops. Sure, you know what? Let's get that. That sounds like something that we should have had for decades now. So we'll do that. Now that we have, like, our new policy is to support the troops as much as possible. We're not going to go with just numbers anymore. We want like a technologically superior army to deal with the imminent threat of the well-armed and well-organized and well-provisioned forces of the Americas. Look, we're just going to assign him there as well. Research finished on Submarine 1. Excellent. Let's just crack straight on them with Submarine Class 2, because I don't think we want any 1922 like submarines, if they even float. I mean, obviously a submarine is not intended to float per se, but even so, like, I don't want it to sort of submerge just the one time and then just keep submerging until it has reached like the bottom of the ocean, because that is not the new Mexican way at all. Equipment effort 2 has been completed. Excellent. What should our next effort be? We could maybe go on doctrines. Army experience plus 5%, 50% research bonus for land doctrines. This would allow us to really push down the doctrine tree for our infantry as quickly as possible. So let's do that. That is what we are going to do. Research slot available. Didn't we select submarines? Class 2 submarines? There we go. Now we have selected Class 2 submarines. So we'll keep 2 of our researchers on infantry-based technology and or doctrines, and we'll leave 1 on naval technology for the time being. Although we should come back and double check that if we can get like industrial techs as we go. How's our construction plans proceeding? We are currently building a factory in Oaxaca. We've got more planned elsewhere, so we probably don't need to issue any more orders for this. We've got 21 factories, 20 owned and 1 from trade, which is good. And our naval invasion just triggered. Did you see that? Did you see the ship? It has gone. He has gone in, and he has totally conquered the territory without even any resistance. I don't think Panama bothered to recruit even a single man to defend themselves, and therefore we can only assume from this that they are in fact eager for the Mexican Socialist Republic to conquer them, and we shall be greeted in Panama City by cheering crowds and children weeping in the streets, ferrets running up and down trees in joy, and other such things. The Treaty of Panama. Yes, we will take all the states of Panama. Done. Excellent. Behold the cheering ferrets and the crying trees and other such things. Treaty of Panama concluded. Fantastic. Job is a good one. Now that that's been done, are we getting any kind of resistance in any of these places? We should just double check this. Resistance map. Resistance map. I don't see anything on the resistance map. If we actually click on a territory, it'll tell us what the resistance is. Look, resistance 0. 0, 0, all over. See, what did I tell you? The ferrets are just jumping for joy all across Central America at the fantastic, amazing way in which the Mexican Socialist Republic is now ruling them and generally making them all feel jolly special indeed. In which case, we need to start thinking about the invasion of Cuba. So, let's move our troops to somewhere where they can launch the invasion from. Research finished. Superior firepower doctrine. This doctrine focuses on throwing shells, not men, at the enemy. Our manpower is precious. Bullets are cheap. Mutually exclusive with mobile warfare, trench warfare, and mass assault. Yeah, we know that. That's all fine and dandy. We're not going to go on to the second doctrine just yet, I think, because that is our current national effort. So let's go with some infantry equipment, I think. Maybe some weapons, you know? I mean, we've been using these, like, off the back of a lorry, from Frank, down at the shops. I mean, he's not, I say down at the shops, it's actually just a car park, and he's got, like, a truck there. And, like, you'll turn up, and he'll kind of, like fling back the tarpaulin, and every day he'll have something different, you know? Last time, it was a 1922 destroyer that he'd found knocking about somewhere and was happy to sell on to us Mexicans. And, like, this is the guy that we got our basic equipment from back in 1918. Or actually, it was probably considerably later than 1918. But that's what our poor troops have been using all this time. Basically, a single-shot bolt-action rifle and a knife. Now we're going to give them explosives. We're going to give them magazine-fed guns and also grenades, which I think they will really like. I think they're going to really like that. I think the infantry are going to be praising the boffins for a very long time to come. Right, so let's get Guiado here and his army up to somewhere where we can launch our invasion of Cuba. We might as well maybe send them up to here. Look, we've got a naval capacity of 30 up here, so we should be able to ship, hopefully, the entire army. Right-click to transport the units to this naval base. Require 37 convoys. Fine. Let's move the 2 sections of the army there. These guys are going to walk because they're not cool, whereas these guys are going to take a ship because they are cool, and they have the commander with them. And the commander is very important and significant to everybody. And once here, we need to start thinking about this invasion of Cuba. And we should also probably reinforce... Oh, look, we've got another destroyer. Another Class 2 destroyer. Let's check if we need to... We do actually have military factories and stuff. So, we'll get a Class 2 destroyer underway with all 6 of our naval dockyards now cranking them out. Nearly 5 a year we'll be making Class 2 destroyers. Pretty soon we'll have a navy to rival, I don't know, even somewhere huge like Luxembourg, maybe? Belgium? The Netherlands? Actually, the Netherlands probably does have a decent navy. I would have thought it would anyway. Good. Well, we'll get on that, and when that is completed, we'll be very happy indeed. We also have extra military factories, but we're currently making stuff that was already filled. We're already filled on all of these different things. World news, the German Reich claims Memel. With German forces on their border poised to attack, Lithuania has given in to the German ultimatum demanding the surrender of the old Prussian territory of Memel. It was passed to Lithuania by the Treaty of Versailles, but has now been reintegrated into the region of Ostprussian. Have we yet reached the extent of German territorial ambitions in Europe? Experts are doubtful, and in this specific instance, experts are probably correct, actually. In fact, experts are often correct. Experts are underrated, if you ask me. Experts almost always know more about something than laymen do, and politicians especially, who very rarely know anything about anything. Another batch of maps has been made obsolete. Excellent. That's why we don't have politicians in the Mexican Socialist Republic. We just have awesome people like this guy here. Mariano Ponton. He's just one of the best. And also this guy who has a white beard, which means that he is clearly incredibly wise and or experienced. Good. We were going to add this to our fleet. Can we do that? Oh, I think we need to move it to the base of operations first. So we'll send it up there, and then it can hopefully join the fleet. Join the fleet. Somehow. Like this. Pull the fleet back to port, and then... Oh, here it is. It's stopped all the way out there. Send it back to port. We'll combine them together into one fleet, and then continue the patrols. National focus completed. Doctrine effort 2. Excellent. Justification for conquering Cuba has been finished. Excellent. Right, well, we can begin planning that naval invasion very soon then. But first, we need to decide on our next national effort. Now, we could potentially go motorization, even though we said we could kind of skip over this. Research finished. Support equipment. Alright, now it is paused. Engineering company. Time to research 174 days enables engineering company. Yes, it does. So this is an attachment that we can assign to our divisions that will basically improve our defense, our ability to dig in and defend ourselves and things. Defense 0.1, soft attack is minus 0.5 actually, supply use 0.2, breakthrough 0.5, recovery rate 0.3, entrenchment 5. Yeah, we probably do want engineers. Maintenance company, military police. Be useful if we had anywhere that needed policing, but everybody is so thrilled to be members of the Mexican Socialist Republic that frankly we don't really need it. We could maybe work on just regular techs here. How much motorization effort? It would take 174 days. Let's make that our national effort and speed this up a lot so that we can get that sort of done quite quickly at some point. And in the meantime, maybe we'll get working on some support weapons here. Support weapons 1, time to research 130 days. Let's get that in. National effort then, motorization. There we go. Jobs are good. And the fleet has assembled, so let's just combine those two together and put them back on patrol. And because we're intending to invade Cuba here, let's have them patrol all around Cuba, and we might as well have them come down here into the Western Canal Zone as well. Good. Excellent. Hopefully we'll get lots of reports back from them about the activities upon Cuba itself. In the meantime, let's plan our invasion then. So we're going to go from here, and it's pretty important that we attack this port zone. If we don't attack the port zone, then we're not going to be able to resupply our troops. We're not going to be able to bring in fresh troops or fresh supplies or anything like that. So we need to take and capture this port, which is going to probably be quite well defended, but it is our only choice. So that is precisely what we're going to do. And hopefully we can actually do everybody in this because it's a slightly larger port. Division assignment mode. Assign everyone. Perhaps not. Now we can. Alright, so a 10 division seems to be our maximum transport. Army 10 transports. Divisions are assigned to this order. Army 1. Army 1 is not a very inspiring name, is it? It should probably be something much more inspiring, like the 1st Legion of Mexican Bravado and Joy. Bravado and Joy. Bravado and Joy. The 1st Legion of Mexican Bravado and Joy. They are ready to launch their attack on Cuba and hopefully make a breakthrough and secure the port. And it would be probably sensible of us. I don't think America's going to attack just yet, is it? So let's actually assign a couple of these units to Guiado's army. We're going to take them off of garrisoning this zone, and we're going to send them over to the port to act as reinforcements to come in the second wave. So we'll have 5 reinforcements to come in the second wave. I think that hopefully should be good. We could maybe even launch a second sea-based invasion somewhere around here to try and cut off some of his troops. That's got to be good. How are our... Look, these guys are actually coming in. Should we have them deploy to the Yucatan and have them come straight into it as well? Then we get an additional 3. So we'll be talking 8 units. 8 units of reinforcements. 8 units of the finest and most incredible Revolutionary Guard, or at least Infanteria, ready to charge in and make their presence known. I think that's got to be a good thing. Military factories. Oh yeah, we never actually assigned this extra military factory to producing anything of use. Let's start creating some support equipment then. There we go. That seems like a good idea. Available. In fact, let's take off of here and put onto here, and we'll make loads of this stuff. And then we will have to give them to our divisions. Modify the government. You can change. We can change our guys here. So we could maybe add somebody to help with our naval attack. A theorist, military theorist, army experience gain +5, land doctrine research time -7%. Let's get him in and help us to research land doctrines even faster. All of the speeds shall be us. No template. We're producing equipment that we have no template for. That's fine. We will assign these to a division at a later point. Hopefully we'll keep producing them anyway. Insufficient resources. Trade. We need steel. We ever have a need for steel here. We'll get it from our good friend Stalin, who can totally be trusted in all ways. We're not getting it though because we need convoys. So let's cut back our destroyer production and build some convoys instead. There we go. convoys to bring in materials for the war effort, and destroyers to destroy other people's materials for their war efforts. It's a sound plan. It's the best plan. It's the only plan that makes any sense at all. Good. Alright, fine. Justification is complete. How is this naval preparation going? It's 4 of 70 days. Alright, we need to wait 70 days. So we'll let them continue to prepare before we actually declare war. We don't want this to run out though. Research finished. Infantry equipment. Let's take a look. What are we going to research next? Alright, so we've managed. This is actually quite a big buff, look. I mean, we're talking about an extra 1 point of breakthrough, double the hard attack, double the soft attack. Yeah, generally substantially improved weaponry. Should we go straight on to improved infantry equipment 1? Time to research 125 days. It's another 5% soft attack. Because we're not going to do motorized just yet. Yeah, let's do that. There we go. Oh yeah, the infantry, they are just thrilled. We need to change up our orders here so that weapons are now being produced that are better. How's our war preparations going? 16 of 70 days. We could, of course, just declare war. I'm a little bit worried that the war justification might run out if we're not careful. What we should do is we should prepare our air forces to assist as much as possible. We've got 38 air wing. We'll put them in and deploy them to this region, the air region of the Caribbean Sea. In you go, and you'll be on close air support. 35 days of 70 until the invasion. World news, the fate of Czechoslovakia. German troops have crossed into Bohemia and Moravia, ostensibly to restore order to the region in the wake of the collapsing Czechoslovakian government. In Prague, the occupying forces announced the creation of an autonomous protectorate within the German Reich. With German support, Slovakia has been declared independent under the leadership of Josef Tiso. The nation of Czechoslovakia is no more. So much for peace. Also, back at home, US influence. The United States' advocacy for democracy is starting to affect our country. Radio broadcasts allow speeches from Franklin D. Roosevelt to reach our people, and we have found many Mexicans being attracted to the American way of life. Mexican Socialist Republic is no puppet, nor will we allow our politics to be dictated by the United States. However, we cannot deny the influence that American politics is having on our country. In our hearts, we will always be Mexican! We will resist the United States propaganda machine however we can. We'll need to have a think about how exactly we do that. I'm really worried about this whole war justification running out, you know? Meanwhile, it's all happening in Europe right now. World news. Zog submits to Italy. Zog? Not Zod? No, Zog. Zog submits to Italy. An ultimatum has been delivered to the Albanian government by Italian diplomats, demanding that they submit to complete military occupation. King Zog has abdicated after realizing the futility of resistance, and Albania will now be ruled by a personal union under King Victor Emmanuel III. Italy looks to the Balkans. I guess they shall not be kneeling before Zog. Another victim of Mussolini's ambitions. Wow, okay. Yes, I'm just going to pause it whilst we figure out. We have prepared for 41 days of 70 needed for our assault. Cuba, Cuba, Cuba. How do we tell how long our war justification will last against you, Cuba, Cuba? I know there is a way. I know it. I know it in my heart of hearts. Oh, what was that? Mexican Socialist Republic has war goals against this country. Oh, I see. I selected it. Cuba is the target of foreign war goals. Okay, well, in that case, as I can't figure it out, and I'm concerned that if we wait too long, our war justification will run out, and people will start to question, especially with the nefarious United States influence on our people, perverting their minds and filling their heads with ideas of democracy and freedom, as if the glory of the Mexican Socialist Republic wasn't the perfect form of society to exist in the world. And to prove this, we're going to declare war, and just make sure that we are indeed going to be able to conquer Cuba in due course. The Mexican Socialist Republic declared war on Cuba. Excellent. And now we shall continue preparing. Continue preparing for the invasion. There is 42 days left of the 70 days required. I think the invasion itself is probably going to have to wait until next time that we're getting some attrition because of crossing the marshes. Oh There's marshes here, look. Whose idea was it to walk across the marshes and suffer attrition in the process? Frankly, I've got no idea. But our reinforcements are arriving. Also, our recruits are being trained up. And, well, we've already got one batch of recruits into the action, it seems. We've got air wings with no mission standing by. 37. Well, just go there then. Bring in some more aeroplanes. Motorization effort has been completed. Excellent. In that case, I think the time has come for us to make political correctness our national effort. Political power plus 200 gains national spirit political correctness, which grants foreign subversive activities efficiency minus 75%. I'm hoping that is going to help us resist the nefarious influence of the United States attempts to spread freedom and democracy to our country. Select a technology to research. Excellent. We have completed the technology as well. Motorization completed, so we might as well get motorized in that case. There we go. 19 days is all it's going to take. We'll figure out how to transport our guys in trucks. And I'm sure they will be really happy at the fact that we have done that. Put them in as well and set them to close air support, and I think that's where we're going to have to leave it for now. The invasion of Cuba will commence next time, but until then, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I have been Weird Wizard, and I will see you later.